Let's talk about how you are going to color your final candle. So I already drew my candle. I have my radiating lines for my flame, kind of my guidelines here. I drew my guidelines and my drips. So what I want you to do is I want you to start with a darker color, and we are going to kind of outline your drip areas here, and you are going to shade underneath your drip lines. So it's gonna look something like this. I'm gonna start with my top one, and I'm actually gonna make this line a little more wavy than I had. And I'm just outlining it. And then I'm gonna outline my rim, like the inner part of my rim here, using a wavy line. And then I am going to go ahead and erase this part. So before you do your colored pencil, erase any pencil lines you don't want, because it's kind of hard to erase them after you put that colored pencil down. Okay, and then I am just going to start shading underneath my drip area. So you don't want your pencil straight up and down. You kind of want it on the side like you were doing with your regular pencil. And I'm just kind of darkening up under these drip areas. And I want to go from dark and I want to make it a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna have darker to lighter. And there's not really an exact way to do it. So whatever you think looks nice. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and pretend I have finished this whole drip right here. And I'm also, real quick, I'm gonna do the inside of my rim. I'm just gonna do half of it, but you wanna shade the inside. You want this to look darker. And here we're gonna do highlights. Okay, so the next thing I wanna do is where I have these little drips right here, I wanna highlight that area. So I'm gonna switch to a lighter color and I'm gonna add highlights. Not why it's not showing up very well, but I'm not gonna go all the way to the top. And see, I should have erased that pencil line right there. I didn't, that's okay. Okay, and then I'm gonna layer another lighter color on top of that white, because I want my candle to be really colorful. And I'm gonna add some white underneath the rim here. To kind of highlight that area. You could use a lighter color as well, it doesn't have to be white. And then back here, I'm actually gonna go, I haven't used red yet, let's try out this. Not as dark as my purple, but still a darker color. Add a little bit of orange. Okay, and then I would just keep going. So I would do the same thing for my next row of drips. I'm gonna outline. I'm gonna shade under the drippy area. And I'm just doing a little piece at a time so that you don't have to sit here and watch a 30-minute video on shading, because that is not very exciting. Okay, and then remember inside these little bubbly areas, I'm gonna highlight it. Just the bottom part. You don't have to go all the way up to the top. You can leave your, whatever color your paper is right there. But what I do like to do, so I have some white in there, and I'm gonna do each one the same. So I'm gonna go in there with some orange. Kind of smooth it out. You don't want any harsh lines anywhere. You want a gradual fade, a soft fade. And then under the purple, I'm actually gonna add this red because it's also darker. Because once again, I want a really colorful candle. Okay, and then I would do this whole candle the same way. So I've outlined my drips, I've done my shading underneath my drips, including onto the table. I want to talk about our flame, the radiating line. So if you imagine a candle, it's lit, it's going to be brighter here and darker here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my darkest color and I'm just going to make some circular lines like this, like this. And I'll do, you know, a few coming in, not very many though. And then I'd also take my red, which is a darker color, because it's not gonna be as bright on the edges of my paper. Just gonna keep making these lines. And one thing I forgot to do was make my table line here. So your candle needs to be sitting on something, otherwise it's gonna look like it's floating in the air. We don't want floating candles, at least not for this project. Okay, and then I would keep going until I have it the way I like it. Of course, you need to color in your flame. You can do that however you want. This one I outlined in purple. Not sure if I actually like that, so this one I'm just gonna stick to orange. Maybe, and yellow, which I don't have, so maybe I'll do some white in here. You want everything soft, no harsh lines. Everything, you kind of want to fade it as you come out. I know we haven't had a ton of practice with colored pencils. Okay, and then the table, I did the same thing. I just made these radiating lines out from the candle, all different colors, just like this. And then you would just keep going until your entire paper is finished.